May I come in?
Come in, Kamlesh.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Kamlesh, tell us something about you.
Yes, ma'am. As my name is KUMAVAT, I come from Chittorgarh district in Rajasthan state. I did my graduation in BCom from MLV Government College, Bhilwara, and thereafter I completed my chartered accountancy in 2016. Thereafter I started preparing for UPSC, and in on and off mode I was also involved in practicing as a CA.
On and off mode.
Yes.
Not sure types.
Not exactly like that. It is like whenever I get time, I go to office and work, and whenever I need time for study, I take a leave and study.
Okay. So, Chittorgarh. There was this incident there. Tell me something about Rani Padmavati and all that historical story.
Yes, ma'am. Rani Padmavati was married to Rana Ratan Singh. He was a ruler of Chittorgarh, Mewar region at that time, and there was a conflict between Alauddin Khilji and Rana Ratan Singh, and in that conflict, Alauddin Khilji wanted to meet Rani Padmavati. However, Rana Ratan Singh did not allow that, and after this episode, Alauddin Khilji attacked on Chittorgarh. In those attacks, all the major male rulers were sacrificed their life, and thereafter Rani Padmavati along with around 60,000 other women from Chittorgarh district committed Johar in order to save their self-respect and show their commitment to their husband. They committed Johar.
Okay. So, is conducting Johar, what would have been the reasons there at that time for conducting? Why didn't they choose to fight?
Ma'am, the most prominent reason would have been that the women of that time were not allowed to fight in open. Only the male warrior were allowed to go to battlefield and fight the battles, and the women were supposed to stay in their castles and serve their husband. So this would have been the major reason because of which women were not allowed to go out and fight the battle.
So, should the practice of sati be glorified?
Ma'am, as Raja Ram Mohan Roy has said that sati is a crime as per every shastra. So sati should not be glorified in any circumstances. In present time, it is also a crime as per the constitution and other legal laws applicable in our country.
Okay, Kamlesh. So, tell me, what are the 3 political issues currently that are being faced by India?
Ma'am, the major political issue is the lack of proper opposition in our country, which is not able to exercise proper accountability over the ruling government in our country. Like ma'am, if there is a discussion in parliament, then they are not having much majority to pass any motion to have discussion or other related matters. Second can be every bill which government introduces in parliament passes out, and there is not a single bill in recent 2-3 years which is blocked by the opposition. So these are the things which requires a strong opposition which can have proper control on the government.
Okay.
And the second issue is the of local self government, I would say, as they are not having proper finances. First thing. Second thing, ma'am, they are not having is the leadership. If the woman is chosen, then their male counterpart exercises the powers of office on woman counterpart. And a third problem is, I cannot think of third problem as of now.
Okay. Okay, Kamlesh. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Kamlesh. Now you have given your introduction. I want to ask you what sort of a person you want to become in life.
So a person who is self-confident,
Okay.
who if he takes up any work, he commits and fulfill and perform the work he has taken up. And third being a happy and peaceful mind.
Happy and peaceful time.
Happy and peaceful mind person.
Peaceful mind person. Okay. And how do you become happy?
Usually I remain happy irrespective
remain
of the
happy.
circumstances. Yes.
Okay, fine. Now I want to ask you another thing. What motivates you? You have been working and preparing for civil services. What is motivating you? Why you want to do this civil services, and on the other hand you are doing your CA also? What is motivating you day and night?
Sir, my major interest lies in working for the people of this nation.
Okay.
I am associated with few NGOs also, in that I work for providing food to the people, providing education to those who are not having. So these are the areas in which I also contribute. So if I go into administration, I would be able to contribute more on those areas.
So your motivation is helping people. Yes. That's right. Now, what do you think are your core values? कि उनके ऊपर you will not compromise चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. Whether my boss tells me, government tells me, MLA tells me, minister tells me, but these are my core values. I will not compromise on these values.
So first and foremost is the values enshrined in the Constitution of India. I will not, under any circumstance, override the values given by Constitution. And second is the integrity, sir.
Integrity. Okay. What is the difference between honesty and integrity?
So integrity is like if you are doing something and doing that thing right, and in honesty you might not be doing something, but you are telling other person that okay, I did this thing wrong. So honesty is like speaking whatever you have done, but in integrity you are doing and saying the correct things, right? Righteousness.
Now, have you ever dealt with a difficult person?
Sir, difficult in what circumstances?
Difficult, बड़ा अजीब आदमी है. Have you dealt with any type of a person, and how have you dealt? जिसको समझाना मुश्किल है.
So, in work life, these circumstances have occurred.
So can you tell me one incident where there was a difficult person and उसके साथ you dealt with him?
Yes, sir. Recently, one person has sought our help for applying for lower deduction certificate. Okay. So he was of some anger issues and low temper issues. Okay. So recently only I had some conversation in which he was getting hyper. So I tried to talk to him very peacefully and calmly. And after 5 to 10 minutes conversation, he was talking normally.
Okay, he became normal.
He became normal.
You were able to persuade him.
After that, he apologized at least like 5 times for being rude.
Okay. What do you dislike about yourself?
So my food habits. I'm little foodie. I'm trying to control the amount of food I consume, but usually it crosses the limits.
Okay, thank you.
Kamlesh, so you passed out from you became C in 2016.
Yes.
So just give me a brief chronology of whatever you have done till now.
Yes, sir. After passing out in 2016, I started preparing for UPSC, and simultaneously in 2017 actually I became 21-year-old in 2017 end. So at that time I got my COP. So after getting COP, I started practicing as a proprietor, and from then onwards, simultaneously, I was preparing and working. And from 2020 onwards, I joined a firm named AGRA and Company. It is based in Noida, and after that, I'm working with the firm.
What you did there?
So my major areas are auditing and policy initiatives issued by the government.
Acha, tell me the difference between statutory audit and tax audits.
So a statutory audit is an audit which is required by any of the legislation of the country, such as Companies Act requires that accounts of a company is to be audited by a chartered accountant under Section 139. And tax audit is also a type of statutory audit. However, it is a specific type of a statutory audit under which tax-related information is to be provided by client to the income tax department under Form 3CA, 3CB, and 3CD.
What are the different monetary limits or turnover limits for performance of tax audit?
Yes, sir. The turnover is to be of 5 crore if the assessee is engaged in a normal business. If the turnover is of more than 5 crore, then he has to undergo tax audit. And there are few other limits, monetary limits in presumptive taxation.
Okay. What is the operating section for presumptive taxation?
Sir, 44AB, 44AC, and 44AD. There are 3.
And do you know, is there any difference of rates to promote digital economy in that section?
Yes, sir. If the transactions are if more than 95% of transactions are in banking done through banking, then the limit is of I think 2 crore. 10 crore limit. If turnover is of 10 crore and 95% transactions are conducted in bank, then he is not eligible for tax audit. He is not required to conduct. If the transactions are more than 5% in cash, then he will have to undergo tax audit.
You have also mentioned about the lower deduction certificate LDC under section 197.
Yes, 195.
195 different sections for different.
2
things.
sections are there.
So there is. Are you aware of any modus operandi of tax evasion using lower deduction certificates? So since 2016, there has been a sea change in the profession of CA, particularly with implementation of NFRA.
Yes.
What do you see on ground?
So on ground also, the CAs have been more cautious about their functioning, their code of conduct, and the practices adopted by the chartered accountants. In our firm, in my firm also, we have been very cautious about taking assignments and signing the audits, whom we are signing, and these are stuff. Although NFRA does not apply to those firms who are not listed and those whose turnover is lesser than 500 crores. However, it has made CAs conscious of their duties.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Kamlesh. So basically, if we see the medieval and ancient society, we generally used to celebrate women in different roles. As you said, they committed Johar. But if you see the sex ratio of your state, it is very poor. In fact, below the national average. So what is the reason?
So there could be many reasons associated with. First is the sir.
Just tell me 3 reasons which you think.
Sir, first is the dowry, which is very much prevalent in state of Rajasthan. Second is the sir safety of girl, as there are many instances of crimes against women. And third being woman is considered as a burden on family, and they are women are married at early age, and the family tries to send them to their in-laws as early as possible and do not spend anything.
That is related to your first point, Dory.
think third measure I cannot think of.
Another issue, you said that Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he quoted Shastra to abolish sati. But what if Shastras permitted sati?
Sir, I'm not clear who said this, but one
No,
of
I
the
am not going into that debate. I am just saying ki suppose a scripture permits a social evil. So still we will continue with that.
Sir, if the scripture permits, then we should ignore the scripture itself. Scripture is not, as far as I can think, Mahatma Gandhi said that untouchability is not permitted by Shastras. If they permit, then they should be ignored at all. So if any social justiciable practices adopted by Shastras, then we should ignore those Shastras also.
Have you heard about constitutional morality?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, it is like the values enshrined in constitution of a democratic country should be followed in all aspects of our life, sir.
So rather than religion, it is the constitutional morality which guides us, isn't it? Obviously, we take values from religion. So you have said that you work for alleviating hunger and you work in NGOs. So what is your exact role?
Sir, when I joined the NGO, I worked as a volunteer in which we used to collect food and...
When you joined?
Sir, I joined it in 2020 after the
20.
COVID pandemic.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. So as a volunteer, we used to collect food from places like whosoever surplus food. They provide us food, and if any organization also wants to contribute in this food way, then they provide us. So initially I worked like that. After 1 year, I was leading a partnership team of Central Delhi chapter, under which we used to we tried to go to organizations, schools, colleges. There we try to persuade people to come forward and help those people who are not having food to eat, or try to contribute some hours to educate those people who are unable to go to schools. So recently I quitted the role of partnership head as I was not able to commit fully. Now I'm working solely as a volunteer there.
So what is the name of this NGO?
Sir, the main NGO is Robin Hood Army, sir. And we are also associated as a Robin Hood Army with another NGOs like Food for Hungry Citizen. They provide us food and we distribute it to the people who need it.
So you have distributed this food among the needy people?
Yes.
Okay. In Delhi itself?
Yes, in Delhi itself.
Okay. While preparing for civil services?
While preparing, working, whenever we get time, whenever food is available, so we go and distribute it.
So what is the sense which prevails in your mind when you are distributing food to them? What is the feeling which comes?
The feeling is of satisfaction. If the person is, if a hungry person is sitting in front of us, then we will not be feeling good about it, that we are having and he is not having. So it is like internal satisfaction that okay, we are also having and he or she is also having a food.
Okay, so it gives you satisfaction.
Yes.
Okay, great, Kamlesh.
Let's talk a little about the accounting standards, AS and NDAS. First of all, if you can give me the numbers, how many AS and NDAS exist as of now?
Sir, 31 accounting standards are there, and I'm unable to recall the number of Indian accounting standards.
What was the need of NDAS?
The India accounting standards were adopted by the MCA and ICI. So these were solely related to the conditions and practices adopted by Indian corporates. However, when globalization occurred, Indian organizations are also going global. So in order to adopt to the global practices, in order to take loan from global organizations, or making our accounts comparable with the global organizations, So we adopted Ind AS so that the accounts of foreign companies or the practices followed in foreign countries can be matched with Indian practices.
We already have IFRS for that. What was the need? If you can give me an example to explain the specific need of Ind AS and how do they differ from IFRS?
So IFRS are completely foreign accounting standards, and the conditions in which they have been adopted are very different to the conditions adopted in India. And I'm unable to recall any example as of now, but certain terms like statement of affairs for balance sheets, these are used in IFRS, and India has to adopt to the practices practiced by Indian corporates, wherein terms such as balance sheet is used. So in order to make these standards familiarize with the Indian practices, we had to adopt Ind AS.
There's an economic phenomena going on in Europe at the moment. Can you name to me that economic phenomena that we're witnessing out there?
Sir, the phenomena which I can recall is of global slowdown.
Okay. But global slowdown would mean slowdown across the entire globe. What we're witnessing there is we can say that we've formally declared recession and we're witnessing stagflation in the European economies. How can RBI tackle if there is a stagflationary situation in India? How can RBI tackle that?
Sir, if stagflation is there, then RBI can release more liquidity by reducing the repo rates in our economic system. So if the repo rates are reduced, the more money will flow into the economy, and this will lead to creation of production, and production will generate wages and profits to the firm, all the contributors of the production system. So this will create a chain of economic consumption and production. So this will lead to reducing of situation of stagflation.
This will result in reducing stagnation, but we are already witnessing inflation. How will it tackle inflation then? We might enter into a hyperinflationary situation. Okay, you talked about and you like to work with NGOs for food as well as with the poor people. How can financial inclusion result in their empowerment? And have you thought about that at any moment in your time working with these NGOs that I can probably help them with their financial inclusion?
Yes, sir. Financial inclusion is a very good aspect of empowering people. As associated with NGO, we have also tried to form SHGs so that they can get some amount of loan from the banks, and they can start their own mini businesses, so they can have sustained income, which will provide a food a medium of purchasing food for them and having education. So financial inclusion through various ways, such as banking, opening a bank account, providing them financial services, and using digital mechanism, making them know about the digital mechanism. All these, through all this way, we can ensure that they are empowered and take their own needs in their own hands.
There are two sides of fiscal deficit, a positive side and a negative side. Can you elaborate on this?
Sir, if the fiscal deficit is very high, then it will lead to inflation. First thing. Second thing, unsustainable debt, under which the interest amount will be a major burden on the revenue receipts. And if the fiscal deficit is very low, then there might be situation of I'm not sure about it, but there might be a situation of zero inflation or little inflation, which is also not good for economy, sir.
Okay.
Kamlesh, you are already working with NGOs. You are already doing good work. Then why civil services?
Ma'am, civil services can provide a mechanism for sustained working in these sectors or any other sectors provided or given opportunity by the government, with an NGO, we require various resources to work with. NGOs do not generate any revenue to provide food to the people or provide education. However, through a government, resources are available. Those resources can be utilized for the welfare of the people.
But in NGOs, there is a lot of freedom and autonomy. The same freedom and autonomy will not be there in government.
Yes, ma'am. This is the right point that we will not, or any civil servant will not be having much autonomy or autonomy.
I'll tell you, you will not be actually be able to directly have that satisfaction of feeding a hungry person or teaching a child. Rather, most of the time you will be in the files, scanning through files, signing through files. So isn't it good that you work more with NGOs rather than giving such a difficult exam, coming to civil services, and at that time not even having the satisfaction?
Ma'am, serving the people is one aspect. I also have to look my personal interest. My personal interest lying in a job where I can get some prestige, some security of my future, and very diverse areas of opportunities. So these are also aspects because of which I am pursuing civil services.
Very right. Okay, my last question to you. In your family, who is more important? Elders or children?
Ma'am, everyone has their own significance. Elders are important because they have experience, they have lived their lives, and they can guide us for a better future. They can ask us to not to commit any mistake, or they can guide us through any mistakes. And children has equal role in families. Children are the future of family in our Indian.
Okay, one last question again. So who are the Houthis? You must have read in the newspaper.
Yes.
Who are they?
Houthis are rebels of Yemen country. They are fighting against the establishments in Yemen, and it is in the news that Iran is backing the Houthis.
Okay, thank you, Kamlesh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Kamlesh, come. Please sit. So, Kamlesh, this is your first interview?
No, second interview.
This is your second interview. What was the score in first interview?
139.
क्यों रहा होगा?
Probably first thing तो मतलब मैंने कोशिश की है जानने की. I try to find out the reasons for lesser marks. So first thing was in few areas I shouldn't have said anything, but I said that okay, I know this, and after going later on follow-up questions, I said that okay sir, I was not knowing this thing.
फंस रहे थे आप फंस जा रहे थे.
फंस गए थे. Second, I was not polite in a sense with the chairman sir. I never thanked him for anything. Maybe this was the reason. And in first question, I was not organized in my thoughts. So this led to a type of, I don't know whether it was an argument or a follow-up question. This happened in.
Okay. So, Kamlesh, I'll tell you what is our reading. First, when you entered, you should stand there and let the chairperson or any board member to ask you to sit.
Okay.
आप आए बिना पूछे सीधा ढक से बैठ गए, है ना? Avoid it, है ना? Let them ask you to sit. Even if they are doing something and if they are not looking at you, it's okay. You can ask, sir, may I sit? Or ma'am, may I sit? Whoever is the person sitting. तो आप पूछो और फिर आप बैठ जाओ. Your shoes polish. Your hands are continuously moving. like this, like this, like this. This shows that you are a little anxious. And this anxiety should be avoided. Put your hands on your knees. रखो, हाथ रखो और आगे रखो, आगे करो, हाँ ऐसे. Try to sit like this. Put your shoulders back. हाँ, थोड़ा सा सीधा होके बैठो, एकदम ऐसे ऐसे सीधा होके बैठो. हाथ नहीं, हाँ यहाँ पे ऐसे. अगर आपका फ्लो ऑफ थॉट रुक जाता है ऐसे हाथ रखने से तो कोई बात नहीं, फिर आप ऐसे कर लेना. लेकिन अगर
मतलब ऐसे काउंट कर रहा था एक तो उंगली पे, इसलिए मूव कर रहे थे, और दूसरा
कोशिश करना है, नहीं करना. नहीं, अगर देखो
3 ही पॉइंट तो पूछ रहे हैं.
नहीं
10
ये
बोलेंगे
ऐसे
तो फिर भी
करने से
count
ना,
करने की
ऐसे
जरूरत
करने से फिजिटिंग होती है, दूसरे
हाँ.
आदमी को शक होता है कि आप कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं है, दूसरा आप झूठ बोल रहे हैं.
साइकोलॉजिकली है ना, शुड अवॉइड. लेकिन अगर फ्लो ऑफ थॉट टूट रहा है,
टूटता है मेरा हाथ, थोड़ा मूवमेंट
चाहिए आपको, तो कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ा बहुत करिए, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं, है ना. क्योंकि हैंड मूवमेंट से आपकी एंशियसनेस, आपका अंडर कॉन्फिडेंस झलक जाता है, पहली चीज़. ठीक है. इसके अलावा पॉइंट वाइज बोलने की कोशिश कीजिए, क्योंकि आप अगर पॉइंट वाइज बोलेंगे तो आप ज़्यादा कॉन्क्रीट बोल पाएंगे, है ना. तो अभी क्या होता है, आप बोलने लगते हैं, बीच में एक बात से दूसरी बात बीच में मिल जाती है, कॉन्क्रीट पॉइंट्स नहीं निकलते. जहाँ आपको जैसे सीए और इकोनॉमी के अंदर क्लैरिटी की उम्मीद करते हैं, है ना, क्योंकि वहाँ पर आपकी डिग्री है, वहाँ पे आपका वर्क एरिया है. तो वहाँ पे जैसे सर ने एक आप कौन सा बता रहे थे क्वेश्चन?
नहीं, जैसे मैं तो ये बता रहा था, इंडियास वाले में नीड मोर डेप्थ इन दैट आंसर. फिर जो आपके प्रिजम्पटिव टैक्सेशन वाला था उसमें टैक्स रेट का है रेदर देन टर्नओवर लिमिट्स. इट्स अबाउट कि इफ 90% आपका रिसीट्स जो है तो उसमें 6% लगेगा इफ डिजिटल चैनल से ट्रांजेक्शन्स हैं, अदरवाइज कैश ट्रांजेक्शन है 8%.
तो क्लैरिटी और चाहिए, है ना, उसके अंदर. जब आप NGO से रिलेटेड बात कर रहे हैं ना, तो बेटा आपको ध्यान रखना है कि महात्मा इमेज में नहीं फंसना. जब हमने पूछा आपको क्यों जाना है सिविल सर्विसेज में, आपने कहा आई वांट टू हेल्प अदर पीपल. इट्स ओके, बट फर्स्ट यू शुड से दैट आई वांट दिस जॉब बिकॉज इट गिव्स मी सिक्योरिटी, इट गिव्स मी दिस दिस दिस, एंड ऑल्सो इट गिव्स मी एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू हेल्प अदर्स. तब तो ठीक है ना. पहले आपने कहा आप सिर्फ हेल्प करने के लिए आना चाहते हो, फिर मैंने कहा अगर हेल्प तो NGO में भी कर रहे हो, तो आपने कहा नहीं नहीं, मेरे अपने भी तो सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट है ना. वो बाद में ना आए, पहले ही आ जाए तो क्लैरिटी नज़र आएगी. बाद में ऐसा लगता है कि आप फंसने के कारण बोल रहे हैं, है ना. सो अवॉइड, ये जो बीच में फंसने वाला जो है ना बीच में, इसे अवॉइड करना है. ऐसे जो भी क्वेश्चंस हैं उन पे थोड़ी देर बैठिए, सोच के अपने दिमाग में एक थॉट बना लीजिए कि मुझे सच बोलिए, सच बोलना है, कुछ भी झूठ नहीं बोलना, बस सच को अच्छे से बोलना. ठीक है. और एनर्जी लेवल्स, आप जहाँ बीच बीच में आपका एनर्जी लेवल थोड़ा डिप कर रहा है, नहीं यंग है ना, इंटरव्यू देने जा रहे हैं, सेकेंड इंटरव्यू है, यानी कि इंफॉर्मेशन वाइज या जिसे कहना चाहिए कंटेंट वाइज यू आर वेरी कॉम्पिटेंट, है ना. सो यू शुड बी हाई ऑन एनर्जी. जहाँ पर आपकी हॉबीज़ की या किसी भी चीज़ की ऐसे बात हो रही है, जैसे आपका कोर कॉम्पिटेंस है इकॉनमी, तो उसमें आपको डरा डरा महसूस नहीं होना चाहिए. उसमें ऐसे आना चाहिए कि ये तो मेरा कोर कॉम्पिटेंस है, यहाँ तो हम खुल के जवाब देंगे, है ना. वो डरा हुआ ना आके कॉन्फिडेंस बाहर आना चाहिए. दिस इज़ इट. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, आप बहुत कामिंग पर्सनालिटी हैं, शांत बैठे हैं, आपको गुस्सा वाला नहीं है, एग्रेसिव लुक्स नहीं है, फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन आपके ठीक हैं, आई कांटेक्ट ठीक है, ओवरऑल पर्सनालिटी भी आपकी ठीक है, बात करने में आवाज़ अच्छी है ना. थोड़ा एक पिच हायर, क्योंकि क्या होता है ना कि बोर्ड में कई बार उतना अच्छे से सुनाई देना चाहिए, वो सुनना चाहे ना चाहे फिर भी आपकी बात सुनाई देनी चाहिए, है ना. तो थोड़ा सा पिच हायर, और बाकी आपका स्माइलिंग फेस है, तो नो अदर थिंग दैट कैन बी. बट ये जो 3-4 चीज़ें हैं आप इसे इम्प्रूव कर लीजिए.
ओके,
ठीक है ना. ओके, बेस्ट विशेस. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू सर.